Hi, welcome to Sales Training by me, Juliet Ball. So first, I just want to go over our objectives for this training. What I want y'all to get from this is I want you to learn the sales process, the different steps that go into making a sale, and I want you to know what goes into each of those steps. And finally, I want you to be able to have the confidence after this to be able to make your own call, your own sales call. So let's get started. First, let's talk about the sales process. There are 5 different steps. You might see a 7-step, you might see a 4-step. For these purposes, I have a 5-step process in order to make a sale. Number 1, we're going to build rapport. Number 2, it's going to be the actual presentation. Number 3, we're going to overcome the objectives. 4, close the sale. And 5, follow up. And if you do all of these, we get success. So first, let's talk about building rapport. This is all about gaining trust, building credibility, and finding a connection with the person that you are selling to. So this is done by asking questions, finding something in common between y'all to where you're kind of breaking the ice and it's not just a sell anymore. You're getting to know this person. Our next step is the actual presentation. There's 3 different ways that we can present to people. It can be a face-to-face presentation, which is an in-person presentation. And this is when you can be giving a PowerPoint. You could just be talking to them. This can happen at a booth when you go to a basketball game and they're trying to sell you insurance or something. This can happen anyway. And also we found out that baby boomers who were born in the times of 1946 to 1964 really prefer this method. Another presentation way you can go is telephone. And so this is typically what we use for cold calling. This is when you're given like a list of leads and you're just going to pick it up and call people and see if they're interested. Also, you can use the telephone for contacting people if you don't have the option to see them face to face, but you want it to be more personal than an email. Last way is electronic. This includes email, social media, and text messaging. So you can send an email with all of the different information. You can promote something on social media and try and make a sale, or even through DMs, or you can text message the person. And Generation X, people that were born between 1965 and 1980, prefer this method. They also prefer this with a little mixed in of traditional. Our next part is handling objectives. I know this is a lot. It's not too hard to take in. So the first thing is we need to know what the type of objections are. There's real objections and there's false objections. Real objections are pretty much just questions. They're very specific and very detailed. False objections are just what people are saying to get you to go away and stop trying to get them to sell to you. So there's one thing that can fall into both categories: price. This is because price could be a real objection because people just can't afford things, or people can just throw it away and be like, it's too expensive. There's some methods for handling objections. One of them is called tipping the bucket. So when somebody throws an objection at you, you can just ask for all of them at once so you can handle them all at the same time instead of getting them piece by piece. Another one is the boomerang, and this is what you take what they give you and you throw it back to them. You can show that, I don't know if I'll have fun. This is a great experience, a great opportunity. You don't want to miss this. Another one's justification. You're going to use the objection for a reason to buy. And the last one's objection writing. You can say, if I answer all of your objections, will you buy it in the end? Hopefully they say yes. And last way, the way you just deal with objections is just use LACE. You're going to listen to them, accept them, commit to them, and then explicit action. Our next part will be closing the sale. In order to close the sale, you need to listen to the customer. They're going to give you cues on what they want next. Their body language, if you're face-to-face, or the tone of their voice and what they're saying will give you cues on if you need to continue to ask questions and handle their objections, or if you need to go ahead and get ready to close the deal. Also, ask questions. You can ask teaser questions, which are basically like, are you ready to move on to the next step, or is there anything else that you would like to ask? And this will kind of give you another answer that they can give to you to make sure to know if you need to move on. Also, there are different closing techniques that you can use. We'll discuss those in our next meeting, but essentially there's some techniques that you can use to get them to buy more or get them to commit to another time. There's different things that can go into that. And most importantly, you're going to follow up. Most people think that once they make the sale, their job is over. This is not true at all. You're going to call or you're going to send an email, some way, write a thank you note to make sure that their experience was good, the service was satisfactory, or the product was up to their standard. You want to make sure that what you sold to them, they were happy with. And this will help you retain customers. They could come back and buy more from you. You can assure their satisfaction. So if they weren't satisfied, you can approve it for the next time. And this will help you for prospecting for new customers because they could be an advocate for you, or you can use them as an example for new customers. And so now I have a challenge for all of you. I want you to do these three things before our next meeting. I want you to practice building rapport. I want you to go up to somebody that you know or somebody that you don't know, and I want you to just basically have a conversation with them and not think about the sell, but the sell still needs to be in your mind, but just ask questions, get to know them, find a connection, break the ice pretty much. And then I want you to practice handling objections. So you can do this with a friend and just get them to say reasons on why they don't want to buy your product. And so just practice saying things in a very nice, calm manner that you can handle these objections with. And then once you practice both of those things, I want you to make one cold call. This can be to one of the leads that we have given you, or you can call somebody random. It doesn't matter, but I want you to make one just so you can get it over with, just so we can get that out of the way and we can move on to start improving your sales. So that is it. Thank you everybody for listening to this presentation. We are going to have a meeting next Tuesday. I want you to all to email me your intro for once you pick up a phone, you're going to give an intro, obviously. And I want you to email that to me so I can approve it. And then I want you to have your challenge done by our next meeting on Tuesday so we can discuss it. Thank you everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this presentation and I'll see you on Tuesday.